The glint of tears threatened to spill from Tessa James's eyes as she sat alone in her Tesla Model X, parked in the school pickup line. 6 months since the divorce was finalized, and the pain still felt fresh. She checked her watch a simple Timex, despite her worth, and sighed. Maple Grove Elementary's dismissal bell would ring in 10 minutes, giving her time to compose herself before her 8-year-old daughter Emma appeared. Tessa rested her forehead against the steering wheel. At 34, she hadn't expected to be a single mother. Certainly not while simultaneously running James Technologies, the company she'd built from the ground up into a billion-dollar enterprise. The board meeting this morning had been particularly grueling, with acquisition talks dragging on for hours. Her phone buzzed with a text from her assistant about tomorrow's investor call. Tessa thumbed a quick reply, then glanced at the rearview mirror. Her normally sleek chestnut hair was coming loose from its professional bun, and her green eyes looked tired. She reached for her compact to freshen up when a sudden knock on her window made her jump. A man stood beside her car, looking apologetic. Tall with broad shoulders, wearing faded jeans and a gray Henley that had seen better days. He had a friendly face with stubble along his jawline and kind brown eyes. Tessa lowered her window. "Yes, I'm so sorry to bother you, but my truck won't start." He gestured toward an ancient Ford pickup at the edge of the lot. "Battery's dead, I think. Would you happen to have jumper cables?" "I need to get my son home, and the school office is already closed." Tessa hesitated. Her day had been long enough already, but something in the man's earnest expression made her nod. "I think I do, actually. Let me check." "I really appreciate it. I'm Logan, by the way. Logan Vasquez." He extended his hand. "Tessa." She shook it, deliberately omitting her last name. The moment their hands touched, she felt an unexpected warmth. She quickly pulled away. "Let me pop the trunk." Logan smiled gratefully. "Thank you. It's been one of those days, you know." As Tessa stepped out of her car, she noticed a small tear in Logan's jeans and the worn soles of his work boots. His hands were calloused working hands, but clean and well-kept. He caught her looking and gave a self-conscious laugh. "Construction work," he explained. "I'm a carpenter." "Just finished a job on the other side of town, barely made it for pickup." Tessa nodded, retrieving the premium jumper cables she kept in her emergency kit. "No problem. I know how hectic school pickup can be." "Tell me about it. Since my wife left last year, I've been juggling everything solo. Sometimes feels like I'm dropping all the balls at once." He took the cables from her. "Nice car, by the way. Must be brand new." "It's a few years old, actually," Tessa said, downplaying the custom-ordered vehicle worth more than most people's annual salary. The school bell rang, and children began pouring out of the building. Logan glanced anxiously toward the doors. "My son Noah's in 2nd grade. Mrs. Peterson's class," Logan said. Tessa felt a flutter of surprise. "My daughter Emma's in the same class." They watched as the children emerged in small groups. Tessa spotted Emma's familiar pigtails at the same time a small boy with Logan's brown eyes broke into a run toward them. "Dad," the boy called, barreling into Logan's legs. Logan lifted him up with ease, spinning him around once before setting him down. "Hey, buddy, how was school today? We made volcanoes with baking soda. Mine exploded the highest." Noah's excitement was contagious, his hands gesturing wildly. Emma approached more slowly, her questioning eyes on her mother and the unfamiliar man. "Mom, are we going home now?" "In a minute, sweetheart. This is Mr. Vasquez. His truck needs a jump start, so we're going to help him." Emma nodded solemnly. "Like when Grandpa's car wouldn't start at Christmas?" "Exactly like that," Tessa smiled. Logan introduced Noah, who gave a shy wave before noticing Emma. "You're in my class," Noah exclaimed. "You sit by the window and you're really good at math." Emma brightened. "And you brought your gecko for show and tell." As the children chattered, Logan and Tessa moved toward his truck. She maneuvered her Tesla alongside the battered Ford F-150 that had clearly seen decades of use. "She seems like a great kid," Logan said, connecting the cables. She is. Sometimes I worry the divorce has been harder on her than she lets on, though. Logan nodded in understanding. Noah was 5 when his mom left. Kids are resilient, but they feel everything. He paused, then added with a genuine smile, "For what it's worth, you seem like you're doing an amazing job." The simple kindness in his words caught Tessa off guard. In her world of corporate strategy and billion-dollar decisions, sincerity was rare. "Thank you, so do you." They got the truck started with little trouble. Logan returned the cables with gratitude. "I really appreciate this. Saved me from calling a tow and being late for Noah's karate lesson." "It's no trouble." Tessa found herself reluctant to end the encounter. "Actually, Emma's been asking about karate. Where do you take Noah?" "Parkside Martial Arts on Maple Street." "It's affordable, and the instructors are great with kids. They offer a free trial class if Emma wants to try it out." Tessa knew Parkside was in one of the more modest neighborhoods in town, far from the exclusive clubs where most of her business associates sent their children. She found the idea refreshing. "Maybe we'll check it out," she smiled. "It was nice meeting you, Logan. You too, Tessa." His warm eyes lingered on hers a moment longer than necessary. "Thanks again for the jump." As she drove Emma home to their penthouse apartment downtown, Tessa found herself thinking about Logan's genuine smile and the gentle way he spoke to his son. It had been a long time since she'd met someone who didn't know or care about her wealth or position. "Mom, can I try karate like Noah?" Emma asked from the backseat. Tessa glanced at her daughter in the rearview mirror. "We'll see, honey. Would you like that?" Emma nodded enthusiastically. "Noah says it's really fun, and you get to break boards when you get better at it." Tessa smiled. "Well, I suppose we could go watch a class sometime." 2 days later, Tessa found herself sitting on a hard bench in Parkside Martial Arts, watching Emma participate in a trial class alongside Noah and a dozen other children. The facility was clean but modest, with worn mats and simple equipment. "She's a natural," came a familiar voice, and Logan settled onto the bench beside her. He smelled faintly of sawdust and aftershave. "Noah's quite impressive too," Tessa observed, watching the boy execute a perfect front kick. Logan beamed with fatherly pride. "He's been at it for 6 months. It's been great for his confidence." He hesitated, then added, "I didn't expect to see you here so soon." Emma was persistent. She talked about karate nonstop after meeting Noah. Logan chuckled. "Kids make up their minds quickly. Adults tend to overthink things." "Guilty as charged," Tessa admitted with a smile. After class, Noah ran over, his face flushed with excitement. "Did you see me break that board, Dad?" "I sure did, champ. That was awesome." Emma joined them, her eyes bright. "Mom, can I join, please? Master Chen says I have potential." Tessa laughed. "Well, if Master Chen says so, how can I refuse?" While Tessa signed Emma up for classes, Logan and Noah waited by the door. When she finished the paperwork, Logan cleared his throat. "Hey, there's a great ice cream shop around the corner. Would you and Emma like to join us?" Sort of a karate celebration? Tessa almost refused automatically. She had emails to check, calls to return, but Emma's hopeful expression made her reconsider. "That sounds nice, actually." The ice cream shop was a charming local place with handmade flavors and mismatched furniture. The children quickly chose their treats and settled at a small table, leaving Logan and Tessa at a neighboring one. "So," Logan began, stirring his coffee, "what do you do when you're not rescuing stranded dads in school parking lots?" Tessa hesitated. This was usually where conversations changed. Once people learned who she was, what she did, everything shifted. "I work in tech," she said vaguely. "That's cool. Anything I might have heard of?" "Possibly. I've been with James Technologies for a while now." It wasn't a lie, just an understatement of cosmic proportions. Logan nodded. "The name sounds familiar." "Big company. It's grown over the years," Tessa said, relaxing slightly when he didn't pursue it further. "What about you? You mentioned construction." Logan's eyes lit up. "I have my own small carpentry business. Mostly custom furniture, some restoration work, and the occasional contract job for builders when money gets tight. It's not glamorous, but I love working with my hands. His passion was evident as he described a historic restoration project he'd recently completed. Tessa found herself genuinely interested, asking questions about techniques and materials. "Sorry," Logan said after a while. "I tend to go on about woodworking. Noah says I'm a boring dad sometimes." "Not at all. It's refreshing to hear someone talk about something they truly love." Their conversation flowed easily, moving from work to childhood memories to favorite books. Logan mentioned growing up in a small town in Colorado, the son of a park ranger and a high school teacher. Tessa shared stories of her college days, carefully editing out details that would reveal her status. Before they knew it, an hour had passed. The children had finished their ice cream and were playing a game they'd invented with napkins and spoons. "We should probably get going," Tessa said reluctantly. "Emma has homework to finish." Logan nodded. "Same with Noah, but this was nice. Really nice." He hesitated, then asked, "Would you maybe want to do this again sometime, without the karate class pretext?" Tessa felt a flutter in her chest that she hadn't experienced in years. "I'd like that." They exchanged phone numbers, and Logan walked them to Tessa's car. As she helped Emma buckle in, he leaned against the door. "Just so you know," he said quietly, "I don't usually ask out women I meet at school pickup. There's something about you, Tessa." She felt a blush rise to her cheeks. "I don't usually accept invitations from men I meet at school pickup, so I guess we're even." That night, after Emma was asleep, Tessa found herself researching Logan Vasquez online. His business website was simple but elegant, showcasing stunning handcrafted furniture with clean lines and beautiful detail. The About page showed a photo of Logan in his workshop, surrounded by tools, looking completely in his element. His pieces were beautiful, artistic, and functional, but priced modestly. The next morning, her assistant Julie raised an eyebrow when Tessa arrived humming at the office. "Someone's in a good mood," Julie observed, handing Tessa her schedule for the day. "Just had a good night's sleep," Tessa deflected, though she knew her face probably betrayed her. "Uh-huh. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you've checked your phone 5 times in the 2 minutes since you walked in." Tessa gave her a playful glare. "Don't you have acquisition papers to prepare?" Julie laughed. "Already on your desk, boss." The day passed in a whirlwind of meetings and conference calls. Around noon, her phone buzzed with a text from Logan. "Great coffee shop on River Street, Saturday, 10 a.m., no pressure." Tessa smiled and replied, "I'll be there." Saturday morning, Tessa dressed carefully in jeans and a simple blue sweater, leaving her designer clothes in the closet. Emma was spending the weekend with her father, so Tessa had the day to herself, a rare occurrence. The coffee shop was bustling when she arrived. Logan was already there, saving a table by the window. He stood when he saw her, his face lighting up. "You came," he said, as if he'd half expected her to cancel. "I said I would." Tessa slid into the chair he held out for her. They ordered coffee and pastries, falling into easy conversation. Logan talked about a cherry wood dining table he was building for a client, while Tessa shared a carefully edited version of her week. "So what got you into tech?" Logan asked, breaking off a piece of his croissant. Tessa considered how to answer. "I've always been fascinated by how technology can solve problems. After college, I developed some software that caught attention, and things grew from there." "That's impressive. I can barely operate my smartphone," Tessa laughed. "I doubt that's true. Only slightly exaggerated." "Noah is already more tech-savvy than I am." Logan's expression grew thoughtful. "What was it like, getting divorced with a young child?" The direct question surprised her, but his tone was understanding, not prying. "Difficult," she admitted. "Emma was 6 when Mark and I separated. He's a good father, but he travels constantly for work. The hardest part was watching Emma try to understand why her family was changing." Logan nodded. "With Noah, it was different. His mother decided parenthood wasn't for her. She moved to California, sends birthday cards, Calls occasionally. His voice held no bitterness, just resignation. I've been explaining to Noah that families come in all shapes. Some have two parents in one home, some have parents in different homes, some have just one parent. That's a beautiful way to frame it, Tessa said softly. What about you? Do you date much? Logan asked, then immediately backtracked. Sorry, that's probably too personal, Tessa smiled. It's fine, and no, not really. Between Emma and work, there hasn't been much time, plus, she hesitated. It's complicated when you're a single mother. You're not just choosing for yourself. Tell me about it. Noah has opinions on everything, including my friend situations, as he calls them. And what does he think about our friend situation? Tessa asked playfully. Logan's eyes crinkled. He thinks you're really pretty and nice, and that Emma is super cool. High praise from an 8-year-old. Their coffee date extended into lunch, and then a walk along the riverfront. It was the most relaxed Tessa had felt in years. With Logan, she wasn't Tessa James, CEO and billionaire, she was just Tessa, a woman enjoying a beautiful day with an intriguing man. As the weeks passed, Tessa and Logan began seeing each other regularly. They coordinated around their children's schedules, meeting for quick lunches when the kids were at school, or taking them on weekend outings together, the zoo, the children's museum, hiking trails outside the city. Emma and Noah became fast friends, their shared karate classes cementing their bond. Tessa watched her daughter blossom, becoming more outgoing and confident. And she felt herself changing too, rediscovering parts of herself that had been buried beneath the weight of her corporate responsibilities. One evening, after they'd taken the children to a carnival and returned to Logan's modest but charming craftsman-style home, Noah and Emma disappeared into the backyard to catch fireflies. Tessa and Logan sat on his porch swing, watching them through the twilight. They're getting along well, Tessa observed, leaning comfortably against Logan's shoulder. They are. It's good to see Noah so happy. Logan's arm tightened around her. And what about you? Are you happy, Tessa? She turned to look at him, this man who had so unexpectedly entered her life. Yes, she said simply. I am. Logan's expression grew serious. There's something I need to tell you about my business. Tessa tensed slightly. What is it? I got offered a major commission. A hotel in Denver wants custom furniture for their lobby and restaurant. It would mean financial security for a while, but also longer hours for a few months. He looked at her uncertainly. I'd have to scale back our time together temporarily. Relief washed over her. Logan, that's wonderful news. Of course you should take it. You're not upset. Why would I be upset about something so positive for you and Noah? Logan studied her face. You're pretty amazing, you know that. Most women I've dated would have been annoyed about me having less free time. I understand demanding work, Tessa said, and this is important. Logan leaned in and kissed her gently. Thank you. As their relationship deepened, Tessa found herself increasingly uncomfortable with her omission about her true professional status. Logan clearly assumed she was a mid-level tech employee, and she hadn't corrected him. The longer she waited, the more difficult it became to bring up. The opportunity came unexpectedly, 3 months into their relationship. They were having dinner at Logan's house after the children had gone to bed when his phone buzzed with an email alert. Sorry, he said, glancing at it. It's from that hotel client. They're adding more rooms to the commission. His face split into a wide grin. This is huge, Tessa. With this contract, I can finally expand the workshop, maybe even hire an assistant. I'm so proud of you, Tessa said sincerely. Logan set his phone down. You know, I've been meaning to ask, what company did you say you work for again? The moment had arrived. Tessa took a deep breath. James Technologies. Right. What do you do there exactly? I just realized I've never asked specifically. I'm the CEO, Tessa said quietly, and founder. Logan blinked. I'm sorry, what? I founded James Technologies 15 years ago. It's a large company now. She met his eyes steadily. I'm the CEO. Logan stared at her, processing. James Technologies. Wait, are we talking about the same James Technologies that's on the Fortune 500 list? The one that makes that operating system everyone uses? Tessa nodded. So you're... He trailed off. Wealthy, yes. She twisted her napkin. I didn't mention it because people tend to act differently when they know. Logan sat back in his chair, running a hand through his hair. Wow. He was quiet for a long moment, then asked, Why me, Tessa? You could be with anyone. The question broke her heart a little. Because you saw me as just a person. A mom sitting alone at school pickup. You were kind without knowing anything about me. But all this time, you've been letting me take you to my favorite dive restaurants and tiny coffee shops when you probably eat at 5-star places. Logan, those have been the best meals I've had in years precisely because they weren't 5-star restaurants with people kissing up to me. She reached for his hand. I'm still the same person you've been getting to know. He squeezed her hand but still looked troubled. I can't even imagine what your life is really like. The pressure, the responsibility. It's just a job, Tessa said. A job that makes you a billionaire, Logan pointed out. Does that change how you feel about me? Tessa asked, her voice small. Logan looked at her for a long moment. No, he finally said, but it makes me wonder if I fit into your world. You already do fit into my world. You and Noah both. Tessa's eyes filled with tears. The question is whether you still want to now that you know. Logan stood and pulled her to her feet, wrapping his arms around her. I want to be with you, Tessa. The you I've come to know these past months. The woman who cheers loudly at karate tournaments and knows all the words to Noah's favorite songs. The woman who falls asleep during movies and burns toast but makes the best scrambled eggs. He brushed a tear from her cheek. I just need some time to wrap my head around everything else. I understand, Tessa said, relief flooding through her. Take all the time you need. The following weeks were an adjustment. Logan insisted on paying his way when they went out, sometimes to Tessa's frustration. She caught him researching her online, reading articles about her business success and net worth. You don't have to impress me, she told him one evening when he suggested an expensive restaurant. I know, he said, but I don't want to look like I'm taking advantage either. No one who knows you could ever think that. Gradually, Logan became more comfortable with Tessa's status. She invited him and Noah to her penthouse apartment, where Emma had her own playroom filled with toys. The children adapted easily, as children do, while the adults navigated more complex emotions. One Saturday, Tessa invited Logan to her office while the children had a playdate with Emma's cousins. She wanted him to understand this part of her life. Logan looked both impressed and intimidated as she showed him around the sleek headquarters of James Technologies. Employees greeted her with respect, and Tessa introduced Logan to several key team members. In her office overlooking the city, Logan wandered to the window. This is surreal, he admitted. You run all this. With a lot of help, Tessa said, coming to stand beside him. But yes, he turned to her. I get it now, why you didn't tell me right away. It would have changed things between us. I should have told you sooner, Tessa acknowledged. I was afraid of losing what we were building. Logan took her hands in his. I'm glad you showed me this. It helps me understand you better. His eyes were warm as he added, but I fell in love with the woman who sits on my porch, swing and laughs at my terrible jokes, not the CEO. Tessa's heart skipped. You love me? I do. Is that okay? More than okay, she whispered, rising on her toes to kiss him. Because I love you too. 6 months after they met in the school parking lot, Logan surprised Tessa with a handcrafted jewelry box. Inside was a simple but elegant ring. I made this, he told her, his voice rough with emotion. From the same cherry wood as the first piece I was working on when we started dating. Tessa's eyes filled with tears as he got down on one knee in his workshop, surrounded by the tools and materials of his craft. I love you, Tessa. I love the brilliant businesswoman, the devoted mother, and the compassionate person you are. I want to build a life with you if you'll have me. Yes, she said without hesitation. 1,000 times yes. They were married the following spring in a small ceremony with their children, close family, and friends. Emma and Noah stood proudly beside them, beaming as they became an official family. Tessa's wealth allowed them certain comforts, but they chose a life balanced between her world and his. They moved into a beautiful but not ostentatious home with a state-of-the-art workshop for Logan and an office for Tessa. Logan continued his carpentry business, refusing to live off Tessa's money, but accepting her support for expanding his craft. 2 years after their wedding, they welcomed twins, a boy and a girl who became the center of their blended family's universe. Emma and Noah embraced their roles as older siblings with enthusiasm, if occasional exasperation. On the twins' first birthday, Tessa found Logan sitting on their porch swing, watching the sunset. She joined him, nestling against his side as they listened to the sounds of Emma and Noah playing with the babies inside. "Happy?" Logan asked, his arm around her shoulders. Tessa thought about the journey that had brought them here from a chance meeting in a school parking lot to a love that had transformed both their lives. "Completely," she answered, turning her face up for his kiss. "Who would have thought a dead truck battery could lead to all this?" Logan chuckled. "I have a confession to make." "What's that?" "My truck battery wasn't actually dead that day. I just wanted an excuse to talk to the beautiful woman sitting alone in her car." His eyes twinkled. "Best fake car trouble I ever had." Tessa laughed, her heart full. "And here I thought I was rescuing you." "You were," Logan said softly, "in every way that matters." As the stars appeared in the darkening sky, they sat together in comfortable silence. Two people from different worlds who had found their way to each other through simple kindness and an open heart.